One of my favorite players, Richard Sherman, has signed with the San Francisco 49ers on a 3-year deal with worth $39 million signing bonus. And with the signing bonus, it really makes it player friendly and also team friendly. So obviously, if Richard Sherman does really, really well, he's going to get his big bucks. But if he doesn't do well, well, obviously, the 49ers can part ways with him. But I don't think that's the case. Now, when it comes to Sherman, one of the biggest issues was his ruptured Achilles. But I think that he's going to be fine without it. This ain't the 1980s. So when you pulled your Achilles or whatnot, or tore it, whatever, it would definitely probably cost your career. And obviously, he is 30 years old. He does play the cornerback position where you do have to do a lot of running around, but he's not exactly a man corner. He can play man defense, but he's more of a zone guy. And when you play more zone, I feel like you're more likely to last longer in the NFL than some of the man guys in the league. Obviously, if you look at Darrelle Revis kind of had a fall from grace in 2015 about after 8 or 9 seasons in once he turned 30. That's because he really tracked the guy down all the freaking time. Sherman didn't really do that and all that. And when it comes to it, this is definitely a need from the 49ers. Obviously, they're not a very stellar defense right now, but obviously adding Richard Sherman definitely helps them improve. Now, I remember commenting over the Rams 49ers game early on in the year. It's one of the top 20 games of the year. It was that amazing offensive showdown on Thursday night. I remember watching that game and thinking to myself, wow, the 49ers just need a flat out veteran in the secondary because they're just getting flagged all over the place and they just didn't know what they're doing. They not only got a veteran right here, they got an elite cornerback. And the cornerback, I believe, is the best cornerback in football. Now, when it comes to it, why do you think he signed with the 49ers this close quickly? Well, first things first, he's from Compton. He's from the West Coast. It makes a lot of sense. Obviously, there's two other teams from the West Coast. Well, I mean, Raiders now kind of moved to Vegas, so not really on the West Coast anymore, but you had the Chargers that were also interested in him. But San Francisco 49ers are definitely an up-and-coming team where it doesn't seem bandwagon, and I'll get to that in a second. And I think similar to what Brett Favre did with the Minnesota Vikings, he joined the Vikings to play the Packers. He just wanted to play a team that played the Packers, and the Vikings happened to play them 2 times a year. I think that's the reason why he wanted to join the 49ers just a little bit, because I remember for the past couple of years, the Seahawks and Richard Sherman weren't exactly getting along. Richard Sherman apparently was demanding a lot of trades here and there, and Seattle actually put him on the trade block. They wanted a first-round pick and a player for Sherman. Not many teams wanted to pull the trigger on that. But hey, when it comes to Sherman and all, he definitely helped out the Seahawks a lot, but there was a little bit of some bad blood right there. I really feel his bad blood came after Super Bowl 49 versus now, but I think when it comes to that at all, I definitely think he wants a little bit of payback. And the 49ers, he also said that the 49ers had a lot of veteran cornerbacks to come through their system, of course, like back in the day with Bill Walsh and all that. And they're not wrong, obviously. Ronnie Lott played with them. So putting Sherman in that position, he will be in a good spot. And once you add an elite cornerback to your secondary immediately becomes good. So, hey, so now the 49ers have a quality secondary right now. And when it comes to it, I definitely think that when it comes to the decision, he decided instantly. Like, he decided very, very quickly. And if I was him, I would have taken the Peyton Manning round, maybe take like a week or two to make your final decision, kind of go through each team one by one by one. Because this is his first time he ever hit free agency. But once he hit it, he's just like, no, I just want to play football. I think the 49ers was his match, his ideal match. And it was a little bit weird because I remember rumors last year that he wanted to join or imagine himself joining the Cowboys and the Patriots and all that. And obviously, I think they might have been on the list. I know the Detroit Lions scheduled the meeting, but he eventually canceled and decided the 49ers and maybe the Chargers would have picked up the phone, the Raiders. At least the quarter of the NFL would have wanted to talk to him, I think. So overall, though, he did pick the Niners. Now, when it comes to the Cowboys, now the reason why he wouldn't want to join the Cowboys would seem kind of maybe a little bit bandwagon because the Cowboys definitely do have a negative reputation and all that. And same with the Patriots. He might have wanted to join them, but if you join Patriots, that could be similar to Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors, kind of joining the dark side right there. I don't think exactly Sherman wants to do that. And to be respected, to be honest, he probably doesn't want the league just to become too unfair and unbalanced and all that. Versus he goes to the 49ers, he gets an up-and-coming team that can be a contender. Now, why don't you pick the Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders or whatever the hell the Raiders are? Well, they hired John Gruden, who's a TV personality, so that's definitely interesting. And not only that, Michael Crabtree's on the roster, and yeah, Michael Crabtree. Yeah, I don't think him and Richard Sherman get along that well. And then also the Chargers were on the list because he plays under Gus Bradley, but that's like his only motivations to play under Gus Bradley. But if he did join the Chargers, he would be joining with Casey Hayward. So imagine Casey Hayward with Richard Sherman. That actually might be better than Talib and Peters in LA. So that's definitely a perspective right there. And I think the one other team would be Detroit. Obviously, him with Slay would have been awesome, but yeah, it's just is what it is. Sherman picked the 49ers, and is it a bad decision on his part? To be honest, when it comes to being a contender, the 49ers could be serious contenders of the year. And I really like the side because Kyle Shanahan isn't a defensive mind whatsoever. Get a guy on veteran on defense. Like I feel like with a lot of these young coordinators, if they don't, or young head coaches, if they don't got a good coordinator that gets their other side of the ball. So obviously, when it came to Rex Ryan early on in his career, as the Jets head coach. He had to hire Marty Schottenheimer's son or something to handle the offense, and that's actually a pretty good strategy. So Kyle Shanahan doesn't really have a DC right there he could rely on, so just sign a veteran right there, and I think that could definitely be good, and I think it was a good move on his part. And when it comes to it all, Sherman, definitely one of my favorite players to ever play the game. Absolutely love him, and one thing is, I'm going to defend him when it comes to his personality. Yeah, he is a trash talker. Yeah, he is a big personality. However, though, he has leadership, though. There's a lot of cornerbacks in this league that are really good at being a cornerback and have the personality to play it. But not all of them have that leadership factor. I'm not even sure Patrick Peterson has the same leadership level as Richard Sherman. I know Josh Norman definitely does not have that leadership factor. I think Sherman definitely brings that. He's definitely going to help them out right here. But I've been talking for way too long, guys. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. And before you guys leave, I've been traveling a lot lately. Obviously, I just traveled. I just took a 21-hour bus ride, so that's where I've been. And also, I had a power outage for the 2 previous days before that. So, yeah, it's been kind of hard to report all these things and all that, but I'll really get it in. I know some of you guys want to get some skits in. I know a lot of you guys want me to talk about specific teams and all that. Hey, I'll get that all in there, and I'll also mix in some draft stuff because I got some really, really interesting stuff, or at least what I find interesting in there. But anyway, guys, talk to you guys later. Peace.